Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. We are going to be looking at OpenMediaVault for the Raspberry Pi 3. Now, I'd never heard of this prior to the other day, and one of my subscribers recommended that I check it out and have a look, since I seem to be quite a Plex fan, and I must admit I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever. I just think it's a brilliant piece of software that works really, really well. So I'm going to be looking at OpenMediaVault and the way that it handles Plex Media Server. So without further ado, let's get going. Now, first time I installed this, I had some trouble due to some partitions that were left over on my pen. So as with every starting from fresh, as it were, use SD formatter. A link is in the description. And just use that just to basically fully trash the pen that you're going to use, just to make sure there's nothing hidden behind. And then what we're going to do is use a tool called Win32 Disk Imager. Now you can acquire the image if you just do a Google search. Whoa, what's this? Go away. Do a Google search for OpenMediaVault, and if you go to their download link and go to the ISO section, there is a subfolder called Raspberry Pi Images. You go in there and download that file there, or whichever the latest version is. Obviously this is the latest version at the time of recording. And that'll download you a .gz file. Now you can use WinRAR to extract that quite easily. So if we go into downloads, when you actually download it, your image file is there for extraction. So if you use this tool here, just open it up and then hit write, and that'll write it out. Now this particular software works completely headless, so there's actually nothing to configure from the Pi side. So just pop it in and boot it up. It'll go off and acquire an IP address and just set a Pi log on. So as long as you know what your Pi's IP address is, and when you first boot it up, it does actually tell you anyway. And I've connected my Pi through the Ethernet cable because there's obviously I haven't set up any SSIDs. Now, with the one of the advantages of the Pi 3 is it's got wireless built in, but with any kind of media server, really, your best bet is to always use a copper cable plugged in. And with it being a completely headless solution, you can just put the Pi by your router and off you go. So that's the kind of advantage there. So what we'll do is we'll let that write out, and then we'll boot up the Pi, and we'll take it from there. So once you've popped your SD card into your Pi, it takes a sort of a little bit longer to boot up first time around because it's sorting its partitions out, so you probably expect a couple of minutes. But do be aware that if you are using a large micro SD card, it can take up to 20 minutes to actually resize that initial partition. And don't restart it either, because it does cause you quite a few problems. And when you reboot, it does continue. I had some issues with OpenMediaVault, and it kept causing some errors, and I had to rewrite it back out again and just leave it to let it run. So patience is a virtue when booting it with such a large pen. Now I've only got a little 4 gig card here, so it pretty much booted straight away. Now I know what the IP address is, so we'll go 180, and the default logon is admin, and the password is OpenMediaVault. How original. Now I'm using Edge here. It does seem fully compatible. I've had no issues so far. Now, first things first, obviously it's default password. Security, rings a bell here. So always go to general settings and then just do your web administration password and just set your own password there. Because if you are exposed, if you do expose it to the internet, then obviously you are open to little toe rags trying to break in. Second thing to do really is the date and time. Now I had a bit of difficulties actually with this because the wording is different to what I was expecting. But for us UK English Brexit lovers, we've got Europe, London, wherever it's gone. Here we go. Europe, London, and then hit save. And then a few seconds later, there you go. You should get a little box there, just asking you to apply those changes. And do remember that, because if anything you do change, if you don't hit save, it will save it. Now, when it comes down to Plex Media Server, I couldn't find it first time around. Now, bear in mind, I've literally just written this pen out. So this is as you see it from the image. So, I mean, you tell me if I'm doing it wrong, guys. But I couldn't get it to appear, and I got a little workaround, and suddenly it appears. So I'll just go through the way I got it to fix, just in case you're having, the same kind of problems. But the way I understand it is turn on the Plex Media Server repository, hit save, okay, and apply that. And then, yes, I do want to apply, and it sits there and applying the changes. Thank you very much. Okay. Once that's finished, you then go to plugins. When that's finished, finally go to plugins, and if you supposedly type in Plex and search, it doesn't find anything. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you've got the repository here, OMV extra SOG. Now that's what makes that appear. Okay. But I can't seem to install Plex. So what I did was, when I was browsing through the plugins to find anything of interest, I found a Wake on LAN plugin, which is kind of cool, because it'd be kind of good if I could wake up my Pi remotely if I wanted to wake it up. So I thought, why not? I'll install it. Just put a tick in there and hit install and let that go through. That seems to trigger the Plex to appear. Now I've gone to Update Manager, nothing seems to appear, it's all fully blank. As soon as you install Wake on LAN, or I'm guessing any other plugin, it seems to appear. So I don't know what I'm triggering there. But anyway, that's how I got around it, and that's how it appeared. So now that's finished. Hit close. Page will reload. Go back to plugins. Now, type in Plex. Ta-da! It appears. It's bizarre. So put a tick in the box and then hit install. Yes, I do. And there it will go off and find the binary files and start the download. Once that's activated, we can then actually configure that up. Right, as you can see, that does take quite a few minutes to install, so I do apologise about that, but whizzing forward. So as soon as you hit close, it will reload, and your Plex Media Server will appear in your Services tab. Now, there's a few other things that we need to do as well before you all get all super excited. So if we scroll down to here, and we can see Plex Media Server, you have to enable it. So we'll enable that there, and we will create the database. Now, I'm only using a 4 gig pen, and I've only got 309. This is literally the only pen I had to hand this evening to sort of get this video done. So I'm also going to put the tick in the web client frame and hit save. Wait for the little yellow bar to appear. There we go. Apply. Yes. Now, one of the things that I'm loving about this particular app is the fact that I could also use it as a NAS, and you can set up NFS, you can set up SMB shares, which is just a traditional. So damn cat again. So it's traditional Windows shares. So it can work as a NAS and a media server, whereas in other videos I've done, it's just a dedicated Plex Media Server. So I'm absolutely loving this, guys. So if we hit enable on there and hit shares and go to add, and I'm going to give it a name. So we're going to call it media share. My media as a comment, whatever, it doesn't matter. And say save. And then hit the plus on to create the shared folder itself. So name, media share. Select your, well, this is just the SD, this is just the internal SD card. So hit save, apply. Interestingly, it did remember it. That's good. I didn't think it would, but okay, right. So you once that's done, we need to set up some users, because if I try to browse, I just try to browse to this. Oops. I didn't mean that. 1 and 2, there you go. It's going to tell me to go away. There you go, cannot access. Yeah, and that's because we haven't set up any users yet. So if we go into user access management, go into user, we're going to create a new one, which is me, Rich Smith, me. Don't need to do any of that. Set my super secret password. And groups. Now, it would be handy actually to use, if you want to telnet into this, or use the SSH. This is actually where you specify the group permissions on the user. So I could give it a sudo, so that basically makes me admin. I can also set up SSH. Where is it gone? There it is. So you can set there. Oh, whatever. You can set there everything to do with that particular user. Hit save. Now, apply. Now, you can specify when you're actually specifying your shares, you can specify users as well to do the shares. I think it was just an admin by default. Let's check it. It should ask me for a logon. Why are you not giving me a logon? Oh, I know why. ACL. Here we go. So I want the user Smith for read-write permissions. As you can see, I don't go by a script. I'm just doing this, guys. I'm just doing it. Hit apply. Right, is it going to work now? You watch, it won't work. Come on. Really? Ah. And that's why it wasn't working, is because in my SMB, I hadn't enabled. So hit apply. There you go, that's better. See, I like to keep that in there because hopefully you guys will learn from me. So we're putting our username that we created, super secret password, and there you go, you got media share. So you got a functioning NAS server. Now, if you really, really want it to be fancy, you could bang a couple of USB drives in there with dedicated power supplies, and you could set up a RAID. Or if you wanted not a true RAID system, as it were, you could actually use rsync. But anyway, enough of all that. We've got a share up and running. We can go into the update manager, and this just shows us what's to be updated. Now, all this is kind of background stuff. I always recommend you do updates whenever you can. And this is also where you'd update the Plex Media application as well. So if we go into Media Server, save. Why are you doing it again? There we go. A familiar screen. It's actually picked up my other server as well. That's interesting. Remove that. So now it says here that a Plex Media update is available. It don't work. It's got to be manually updated. You can click on it, try it, and it's just taking you here basically. If you go through the settings to do an upgrade, it says there an update is available. Yay! But then please install manually. So, but as of recording, which is the 23rd of September, we're on version 9.12.4. Now, all this, guys, is standard Plex stuff, and if you know Plex like I do, it's going to be nothing special. So, and it works exactly the same. So you've got, you add your library, your TV shows, hit next, browse for a folder, find the share that you created, which for me is this, looks like a GUID. There it is, media share, and that's going to be where all your media sits. And then add it like you do normally. Sit down and enjoy your media, I suppose. And that's it, really, on the Plex side of things. So I'm going to be having a look at some of the other features of OpenMediaVault and see if anything's of interest. And if it is, I'll come back with another video. I'll be interested to see how the RAID management works. I might actually put together a video for that because I've done NAS servers before, and it was using the rsync. It was all right. It worked. For all intents and purposes, but true RAID management, I'd be interested to see if you could actually use the USB drives or not. and whether it be compatible. So I'll have a play around with it and I'll come back. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, do hit the thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe. It's the fastest way to get notified that I've uploaded new videos, whether it be on your phone or your tablet. Bang! New videos from Rich Smith for all your tutorial pleasures. And also don't forget to leave me a comment either. I do appreciate feedback, whether it be positive or negative. I like the feedback from you guys because it helps me produce better videos for you. So until next time, see you later.